What's up, guys? It's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. So I want to take the time out right now to just express the gratitude that I have for you guys. Yesterday I hit over 2,000 subscribers, and that was super unexpected, and I'm just so grateful for all the support and love and just, the banter back and forth with you guys, because believe it or not, sometimes I need to be reminded that what I'm doing really does help, and that, it just keeps it fresh for me. So I just want to tell you guys, thank you so much for all the love and support over the last month. I'm super grateful. So thank you. Today I'm going to do a video. I went back and forth and I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do. And I'm going to do this one today because, I was actually discussing it with Jess earlier, and she agreed. Like, a lot of women go through this and they think that they're alone or they're ashamed, because I know I still carry shame for it too. So today I'm going to discuss how I lost my daughter. How I lost custody of her, the things that led up to that, and then the things after that, and where we are today. So in 2017, I was arrested, as you guys know, on a couple of different types of charges, but the main charge that I was arrested on was 2 sealed indictments of methamphetamines. At the time, it was October. Bella was in kindergarten. She was 5 years old. She went to kindergarten one day, and I did not come home for 2 years. So just let that sink in. My 5-year-old baby, because she's my baby, went to kindergarten, and her mother did not come home for 2 years. That's enough to make any mom want to vomit, thinking of the repercussions and emotional strain that put on their baby. And I carry that with me every day, even still to this day. I was incarcerated. I spent roughly between 5 and 6 months, about 5.5 months in Delaware County Jail, which in itself was enough to make you never want to get high again. Because it's one of the most dehumanizing county jails, in my opinion, in the area, in the state, around. It's absolutely horrible. And then I proceeded to go to state prison. I did 1.5 years of regular prison, and then I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to Shock. And then I did 6 months in Lakeview Shock, and that's where I was paroled from. So when I got incarcerated, Bella was in school. I had to tell the cops who were arresting me, like, my baby's about to get off the bus, roughly 2 hours. No one's going to be there to get her. There's nobody at the house. Like, at this point, they had taken the dog. Like, there's nobody at the house. She's 5, They called up the school. They said, does she have, a neighbor, a friend, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah. I said, her little best friend lives at the corner. If you can just let her parents know that she needs to get off the bus. I'm sure they already knew we were arrested. The whole town did. The town is about as big as a pinhead. And we, have one blinking light in town in Masonville. So they already, I'm sure everybody knew what was up, what was going on. She got off at her best friend's house. She stayed there. I was able to get a hold of my parents. Time frames are real iffy for me in that type of situation, because because I was, coming down from methamphetamine, so I really didn't have a grasp on reality at the moment. Time was really screwed up for me. You get locked into this cell, and, as I've said in previous videos, I didn't have my glasses. I couldn't see shit, so I never knew what time it was. At one point in time, I swore it was 9 o'clock, and it was only 8 o'clock, so that just goes to show I'm nearsighted. I can't see shit far away. So I got in touch with my parents, and they knew I had been incarcerated, and they were trying to track down Bella as well. They finally found her, and they went to go get her, and she wasn't in good shape. And as far as not in good shape, I don't mean physically, I mean mentally, emotionally. She was scared and frightened, and she had already been living in a bad situation with Jared and I because we were abusing methamphetamines. I'd like to say she didn't know, but I'm an intelligent woman and I know that that's not true. Sorry, Lena's playing with her toy that's attached to the couch and she's having a freak out session. So if you hear anything, it's the cat. You know, and I like to say like, oh yeah, it was fine. It wasn't fine. You know, she's not a stupid, she's a very sensitive, emotional, beautiful soul to begin with. She wasn't dumb. She knew we were doing things we shouldn't have been doing. She might not have known what, you know, because she was only 5, but she knew we were doing something wrong. And so my parents got her, and my mother would tell me, you know, Bella didn't go to school today because last night we rode around for like 5 hours looking for you because she thinks something happened to you. I didn't know what my charges were going to be. I didn't know how much time I was looking at. I didn't know if I was able to possibly parlay it into rehab, like a long-term rehab. So after a while, we finally decided, my parents and I, well, not really me, them, because I really wasn't in any condition to decide anything at that time, you know. We decided to tell her that I was in the hospital getting better. And she bought it for a little bit, and then she got smart. And she actually said to me one day, we were on the phone, what's the hospital phone number? I'll call you back. And I was like, oh, baby, I don't know what it is. There's no number on the phone. You know, it's like a pay phone. And she goes, in your room? And I said, yeah, in my room. She goes, well, go look at your door. Tell me your door number. And I was like thinking to myself, man, this little girl, she's so smart. She knew something was up. She goes, well, I want to send you flowers. So what's the address? And I was like, oh, baby, mommy doesn't know. She goes, oh, I'll go look on one of your envelopes because I know you wrote me a letter. I saw your handwriting. Like, she's just so wicked intelligent, you know, and this was at 5 years old. So while we were in county jail, I got served, and Jared was home at the time. He did not get arrested for sealed indictments. It was just I was the one selling the drugs. So he got served at home. I got served while in jail. We got served from family court for child endangerment. So anytime you have drugs in the house and it's provable, you know, and you're in jail on drug charges and you resided in that house. So if you have drugs in the house in New York State, let me be specific about this because I don't know about any other states. But in New York State, when you have drugs in the house for a child under the age of 18, it's automatically child endangerment. You're automatically guilty of that charge. And you know what? Rightfully so. At first, I was very upset and I was like, well, she never this, but she could have. I could have been out of my mind and not known what she was doing. I could have passed out because I was up for days upon days, you know, 12, 13 days in a row, and you finally crash out because you just can't take it anymore. She could have touched something. She could have. And I'm not one to be very, let's face it, I'm a convicted felon. I don't want any more charges than I have to have, right? This one was earned. This one is always earned. You know, you want to fuck up your life, that's cool, but how dare you put your baby in jeopardy? And I strongly believe that, you know. So I pleaded guilty to it. I didn't even try and fight it. I didn't even try and argue. But they also said, well, you know, if you want this sweet plea deal of 3 years, 2 years post, you have to plead guilty. I was planning on pleading guilty anyway, but the fact that they tried to finagle that in was kind of shitty, along with everything else that Delaware County does when it comes to the criminal justice system. Just saying. But so yeah, so my parents, I'd never been through this before, and she's my only baby. Biologically, let's get that straight, because I have 5 altogether. So I never knew that there were different degrees of custody. I didn't know there was like residential. I didn't know that there was full, legal, partial, joint. I mean, I'm so sorry. Lena, she's going through a bag of Halloween presents for Bella, actually. So I I didn't know that. So when I went to court, I was just like, yup, custody. Give my parents custody. At the time she was 5 years old, they were having a hard time getting insurance for her, getting any type of assistance, any type of registering her for school, whatever. You know, you need to have all that stuff finalized. So she could have turned around, like I watched it many times. She turned around, walk right into the wall. You know, she needs health insurance. She needs those things. So I said, here, take it. Take care of my baby. If I would have known then what I know now, I would have given them residential, temporary. But so my parents had custody, and I have always said this, and I will always say this: my parents are amazing grandparents. I'm able to be as successful as I am today, and I was able to work on myself as much as I did because of that and because of them, and I am eternally grateful for them. My daughter had a smoother transition than she would have if, God forbid, she would have had to go to foster care like a lot of babies do. And children, I always say babies because, you know, to me, she'll always be my baby. So I went 15 months without seeing her until I finally had to take my parents back to court because all of a sudden they had custody. They got on this kick where she doesn't need to see you while you're incarcerated. And I was like, I'm incarcerated for 3 years. I'm not going to go 3 years without seeing my baby. So I had an amazing attorney that I had gotten through this program called VOLS, Volunteer Office of Legal Aid or something for incarcerated mothers through Taconic. I love them dearly. I haven't corresponded with them in a couple of months, but I've been keeping in touch with them. And before I even walked in the courtroom, I won my case. The judge was like, I'm appalled. You have not seen your child in 15 months. So I saw her that weekend at Bedford. My parents were mandated to bring her to see me. And then they brought her to see me one time while I was in shock because I was coming home soon. So I didn't want to put that stress on her of traveling so far away. But I still do not have custody of my daughter. And I have many reasons why. So let's be honest. I don't have a good track record. I have come home. I've been down this road before. I've come home from prison. I've done okay. Never like what I'm doing now. You know, I always kind of just did what was required, you know, and I always went back. I never really worked a program, worked on myself, dealt with past traumas, really got my shit together the way I have this time. That being said, I am not naive to the fact that anyone, anytime, could relapse, including myself. We all can. Staying in recovery and staying sober is a daily job. I have to make a conscious effort every day to get up and remain sober. I have to work on me and my problems every day. And I'm grateful for people in my life, you know, like Jessica, my husband, my daughter, our children, my mother-in-law. You know, people that know me and can see when I'm getting a little squirrely. You know, when I'm getting that way, like my husband will be like, babe, you need to relax. Like you're getting a little ahead of yourself. Your anxiety's getting a little too high. You know, no one knows me better than that, man. That's for damn sure. So I'm currently still on parole. Parole can come here whenever they want. Parole can come. I could do something that's misinterpreted the wrong way, be named in something, be something, and parole can come lock me up just like that. What kind of mom would I be to take my daughter out of the home where she's been for the last, since, let's see, 18, 19, 20, so 3 years and change, you know, like where she's been comfortable, and take her and put her back where she's not comfortable. She has told me she does not want to live with me right now. You know what? I could go against that and I could make her live with me, but that wouldn't be me being the best mother that I could be for her. So I don't push it. I see her very, very frequently. We live in the same town now. I purposely moved here to be close to her. We talk all the time. Actually, last night we were on the phone and she must have been super tired because she said some gibberish to me and then she called me Miss Potato or Miss Potato Head or something because we were I was telling her I'm getting a tattoo and how her name is going to be in it. And she was like, oh, yeah, Mrs. Potato. And I was like, what? And she was like, I'm sorry, Mommy. I'm really tired. You know, so we are building up the relationship and the trust that we lost, you know, and she has said to me many times, when I first came home and she started saying these things to me, I was really hurt. I was hurt. Like I had any right to be hurt. She said to me, I said to her one day, we were at the park, and I said, I love you more than anything in this world. You are the best thing I've ever done, and you're my favorite person. And then she said to me, literally turned to me, looked me in the eyes and said, then why did you do the drugs? And I had a lump in my throat immediately, and I didn't know what to say, and I didn't say anything. And I went home, and I talked to Pastor Derek about it, and I talked to George, my recovery coach, who was like my big brother / dad now. And I said these things to them, and I thought about it. And then the next time I saw her, I said, I just want you to know Mommy's really, really proud of you. I know how hard that is to say those things, and I'm so proud of you for telling me how you feel. And I truly feel that way. She had to, her whole life at 5 years old got changed, and she lost her living space and her friends and everything, and it was all because of my substance use disorder and the choices that I made. So yes, I do not have custody of Bella. She still resides with my parents. We are all working on our relationship, and I feel like we're all in a really good place right now. And once I'm off parole, that will change. But until then, I'm not going to put that baby through any more than she's already gone through. So if you are in a similar situation than me, please do not feel alone. You can, reach out, and I will help you navigate this as best as possible. We all make mistakes. It's what we do after that really counts in life. Again, I just want to tell everyone thank you so much for all